Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into a market that's, well, completely changed how millions of us get our meals. We're talking about the global food delivery market.
Hmm.
And to help us navigate this really fascinating landscape, we're using insights from a pretty comprehensive source. It's the Global Food Delivery Market Analysis 2021-2033 report from Cognitive Market Research.
Right.
Our mission here really is to get past the headlines. We want to uncover the core drivers behind this huge expansion, get a handle on its current scale, and look at where it's headed across different regions so you can really grasp its impact.
Yeah, and what's truly striking here isn't just the sheer size of it all. It's how this market is subtly kind of rewiring our relationship with foods, maybe even our cities.
Mm.
It really reflects how global consumer behaviors are shifting and
Hmm.
fast. Is driven by more than just, being hungry.
Absolutely. So maybe let's start with the basics. When we say food delivery market, what exactly are we defining? It feels like it's everywhere, but there's a specific ecosystem, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're basically talking about that whole network of online platforms, the apps, the websites that connect you, the consumer, directly to restaurants or other food places for ordering and delivery.
Okay.
And this covers, different models. You've got the aggregators, they're like digital marketplaces just listing restaurants.
Right. The big lists.
Yeah. And then you have the full stack services, the ones managing the whole process, from the kitchen right to your door.
Mm.
But the core appeal, it's convenience, unparalleled convenience, and this huge variety of food options, all just a few taps away.
And what's really fueling this? I mean, it feels like it happened almost overnight, these apps becoming so essential. What are the big trends pushing this forward?
Well, the report highlights a powerful combination of things, really. First off, just the explosion in smartphones globally.
Hmm.
That laid the groundwork, putting these services in billions of pockets, literally. Tied closely to that is how common digital payments have become. Just removes all the friction, makes ordering super smooth.
Yeah, no cash needed.
Exactly. But maybe the biggest driver, the most profound one, is just how our lifestyles have changed. People are busier. We increasingly want things instantly.
That instant gratification thing.
Right. And there's a growing willingness to pay for that convenience.
Hmm.
This whole on-demand expectations become a dominant force, really changing how we live and, well, how we eat.
Okay, let's get to the numbers then. You might have a gut feeling about how big this is, but the actual figures and the projections, they're pretty eye-opening. What kind of scale are we talking about globally?
The figures are, yeah, quite remarkable. So the global market pulled in an impressive $118.093 billion dollars in sales back in 2021.
Okay, 118 billion.
And it didn't exactly slow down. It jumped pretty quickly to $191.5 billion dollars by 2025.
Wow.
And looking out to 2033, the projection hits an astonishing $503.568 billion.
500 billion, that's huge.
It really is. If you connect that to the bigger picture, like you said, that's more than quadrupling the market in, what, just over in a decade?
Incredible.
It signals a really fundamental long-term shift, and it raises that important question, what does this actually look like on the ground, region by region? Are there different stories playing out?
That global number is just massive. But yeah, let's pivot to the regions because that's where you really see the unique dynamics, don't you? Which parts of the world are leading this delivery revolution? What patterns are we seeing? Maybe let's kick things off with North America.
Okay, North America.
Yeah.
It's a real powerhouse here. Started at $47.001 billion in 2021.
47 billion.
And it's projected to reach a huge $193.471 billion by 2033.
Wow, nearly 200 billion just there.
Yeah. And within that, no surprise, the U.S. dominates. Projected $144.832 billion by 2033.
Okay.
But Canada and Mexico are strong too. Canada's looking at $25.054 billion and Mexico around $23.584 billion. That's really noticeable there is, well, yes, the sheer volume, but also just how deeply embedded food delivery is in daily life now. These are mature digital economies kind of setting the bar for efficiency and choice.
Right. Okay, let's cross the Atlantic. Europe. Are we seeing a similar kind of surge there? Or maybe different patterns given, all the diverse cultures and food scenes?
Europe definitely shows an impressive trajectory as well. It grew from $34.129 billion in 2021
34 billion.
to a projected $140.093 billion by 2033.
Yeah. So also a very significant jump.
Oh, yeah. Germany looks set to lead with about $20.285 billion. Russia's close behind at $17.343 billion. France around $16.34 billion. The UK, Italy, Spain, they're all major players too.
Hmm.
But what's really interesting, I think, is the rest of Europe category. That's projected to hit over $41 billion collectively.
41 billion just in the rest. That's huge.
It is. And it really highlights that this isn't just a big city thing in, say, Western Europe.
Yeah.
It's widespread adoption across lots of smaller economies, too, often with their own unique local market flavors, you could say.
Fascinating. Okay, let's shift now to Asia Pacific, a region we know for, well, massive populations and incredibly fast digital adoption. How's food delivery taking off there?
Asia Pacific is poised for just enormous scale. Started from $22.32 billion in 2021.
22 billion, okay.
Projected to absolutely skyrocket to $105.095 billion by 2033.
Over 100 billion.
Yeah. China is, as you'd expect, a dominant force, nearly $30 billion projected there.
Right.
Japan's also major, $21.471 billion.
Yep.
And India is looking at a substantial $16.994 billion.
Wow, those are big numbers.
They are. And places like South Korea, Singapore too. But look at Southeast Asia as a whole, projected at nearly $11 billion.
11 billion for Southeast Asia collectively.
Exactly. And what's maybe different here is that food delivery isn't just a luxury. In many of these places, it feels like a critical technology, almost leapfrogging older infrastructure.
Yeah. Ah, interesting. So skipping stages.
Kind of, especially where traditional restaurant infrastructure might be less developed. It caters directly to this rapidly urbanizing population that's mobile first.
Got it. Okay, next up, let's head south to Latin America. What's the story across South America?
South America is also seeing really consistent, substantial growth. It's moving from about $7.9112 billion in 2021
Almost 8 billion.
to a projected $37.617 billion by 2033.
Okay, solid growth there too.
Definitely. Brazil leads the pack, expected to account for over $12 billion of that. Argentina follows at around $5.5 billion, Colombia just over $3.3 billion. And again, like in Europe, that rest of South America category is significant, over $14.5 billion projected. It just shows how widespread this is becoming across the continent, really. Often tracks with, more smartphones, a growing middle class in many of these countries.
Makes sense. Okay, from there, let's dive into the Middle East, a region known for being economically dynamic. What kind of expansion are we seeing?
The Middle East market is certainly set for notable expansion. It's rising from $4.606 billion in 2021
4.6 billion.
to a projected $16.769 billion by 2033.
Okay, so more than tripling.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia really emerges as a key market there, expected to hit over $5.5 billion. Turkey and the UAE are also contributing significantly, around $1.9 billion each. Qatar, Egypt, also strong.
And what drives it there?
Well, often it's a combination of a young, very digitally connected population, high internet use,
Right.
and maybe a cultural appreciation for convenience and, diverse food options. Plus, rapid urbanization in many cities just makes delivery very practical.
Yeah, you can see that. Okay, finally, let's touch on Africa, often talked about as an emerging market for digital stuff. How's food delivery shaping up there?
Africa, well, it starts from a smaller base, that's true,
Yeah.
but the proportional growth is actually incredibly significant.
Oh,
It
interesting.
really suggests a market that's kind of on the verge of a major shift. Went from $2.126 billion in 2021,
Just over 2 billion.
expected to reach $10.525 billion by 2033.
So roughly a five-fold increase. Exactly. South Africa leads that, projected at $3.216 billion. Nigeria falls at $1.8 billion. But again, that rest of Africa category is substantial, over $5.5 billion. It highlights how quickly these markets are emerging. And it's fascinating because, similar to parts of Asia maybe, delivery is establishing itself sometimes where traditional restaurant infrastructure might be less developed. It offers that direct leap to modern convenience.
Right, that leapfrogging idea again. Okay, so we've crunched the numbers, toured the globe. After dissecting all these, frankly, pretty impressive figures, what does this all really mean for you, the listener?
Yeah.
Why should these global numbers matter beyond just, whether your pizza arrives on time?
Yeah, it's a good question because these numbers, they're much more than just revenue, aren't they? They really illustrate this fundamental shift, this redefinition of convenience and what consumers expect pretty much everywhere.
The fact that this trend is so universal, it signals a huge paradigm shift, not just in eating habits, but in broader economic models. It impacts local restaurants, logistics, even how cities are planned and function.
Right, the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. The consistent, strong growth just underscores that this isn't just a luxury anymore. For many, it's becoming an essential service, really reshaping the fabric of daily life and our interaction with food.
A lot to chew on there, definitely. We've really seen this global food delivery market just explode, haven't we? From what, $118 billion in 2021
Mm,
to a projected giant of over $500 billion by 2033. It's so clear how smartphones, digital payments, our busy lives, it's all come together to create this really formidable force.
it really has. And, it raises this important question for the future. As this massive expansion continues, how might it reshape things beyond just our diets and local economies?
Like what?
Well, think about urban planning, traffic patterns, maybe even our social interactions.
Hmm.
Are we heading towards a future dominated by dark kitchens, those delivery-only places?
Yeah, good point.
And what does that mean for the traditional restaurant experience we know? It's something we're really just beginning to understand the full implications of.
Indeed. Lots to think about. We hope you feel a little more well-informed about this fascinating and clearly ever-expanding market. Until next time, keep those curiosity engines running.